Hello traders, welcome to Profirm Pilot and I am Avinash. In this video we will compare the 100k two-step challenge of three popular prop firms which are WeMasterTrade, FundingPips and the 5%ers. We will compare these firms on different criteria such as fees, profit targets, drawdown limits, payout structure, trading rules and platform support so that it becomes a bit easier for you to make a decision. But yes, this video is just an overview. So understand that your own research is essential before making a final decision because every trader's journey is different and the feature that is best for one may not be for another. So always be aware of the compatibility of your trading style with your prop firm. So let's start the comparison.
Disclaimer: this is not financial advice. 99% of traders lose money. Do your own research before making any trading decisions.
So the first criteria is the fees for 100k account. In WeMasterTrade, you have to pay $335 for a 100k account, while in FundingPips it's $529 and in 5%ers it's $545. So comparatively, WeMasters is quite cheap here. Now the second criteria is the profit target for phase 1. For phase 1, all three prop firms have an 8% profit target. Whereas in phase 2, WeMasterTrade has a slightly higher profit target, which is 6%, while FundingPips and 5%ers have 5% profit target. If we talk about the daily loss limit, all three prop firms have 5% daily loss limit. But if you lost 3% in a single day in 5%ers, your account gets a soft breach. And if we talk about the maximum drawdown, all three prop firms have a maximum drawdown of 10%. And the leverage is also the same in Forex, which is 1:100. So now the next criteria is profit split. In WeMaster, after passing the challenge, your profit split is up to 90% and 30% on phase 2. Whereas in FundingPips, it's 80% and in 5%ers, it's also 80%, but in 5%ers, it is scalable. Whereas in WeMaster, this is a unique profit split of 30% if you pass phase 2. So you will get 30% of the phase 2 profit upon passing phase 2. Now the next thing is consistency rule. In WeMaster, the consistency rule is 20% and in FundingPips, it's 15%. But in 5%ers, there is no consistency rule. The next thing is refund policy. All three prop firms have refund policy, but in FundingPips, you only get a refund when you take the fourth payout. Yes, this is a bit different from standard prop firm payout policy, and it is not in favor of traders. The next thing is minimum trading days. In WeMaster, there are no minimum trading days, whereas in FundingPips, you have to fulfill a 3-day minimum trading days criteria, in which you need to book a 0.25% profit each day. And in 5%ers, there are also 3 profitable days, in which you have to book a 0.5% profit each day. Now, if we talk about withdrawal frequency, in WeMaster, you can take on-demand payouts. But there is a twist that your profit should be above 6%, whereas in FundingPips and 5%ers, there are no such criteria, and you can take bi-weekly payouts. If we talk about the time limit, all three prop firms give unlimited time to pass the account. Now the next thing is the inactivity period. In all three prop firms, if you don't trade for 30 days, your challenge account will be gone. Now, the next criteria is for those traders who do news trading. In WeMasterTrade, news trading is allowed, and in FundingPips, you get a 10-minute window in the second phase, meaning you can trade only 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after the news, not during this duration. And in 5%ers, there is a 4-minute window, meaning you can trade only 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after the news, not in this 4-minute range. Now, the next thing is for those traders who take swing trades or positional. So the criteria is weekend holding. In all three prop firms, weekend holding is allowed. So this was it from the rules. Now the next thing is trading platform. In WeMasterTrade and 5%ers, you can trade on MT4 and MT5. Whereas FundingPips gives you options of multiple platforms, which are CTrader, MatchTrader and of course MT4 and MT5. So this was the discussion about multiple criterias of these prop firms. Now let's talk about what their pros and cons are. At first, we will cover WeMaster. In WeMaster, the 20% consistency rule is a bit aggressive compared to the other prop firms. And if we look at the withdrawal target, which is 6%, this rule is also not in favor of traders. Whereas in FundingPips, the refund policy on fourth payout is not trader friendly. And of course, the minimum trading days and 15% consistency rule. And if we talk about cons of 5 percenters compared to both of these prop firms, the 5 percenters is the most expensive one. And there is also the criteria of 3 profitable days in which you have to book 0.5% profit for 3 days, which is also not a trader friendly rule. Adding to that, the soft breach at 3% in daily loss. So this criteria is also not in favor of traders. So this was it about the cons. Now let's talk about the pros. At first, we will look at the pros of WeMasterTrade. So yes, it is the cheapest compared to both of these prop firms, which is $335. The next thing is no minimum trading days, meaning it is not compulsory to book 0.25% or 5% profit for 3 days. The next and unique thing is that you get 30% payout in second phase. And of course, after passing the account, your fees is also refunded. The next pro is that if you do news trading, it is allowed in WeMaster without any restriction. So this was the discussion about the pros of WeMasterTrade. Now let's take a look at the pros of FundingPips. In FundingPips, you get to trade on multiple platforms, which makes your trading experience a bit better. And if you look closely, FundingPips seems to fit in between both of these prop firms. And at last, let's talk about the 5 percenters. In 5 percenters, there is no consistency rule, meaning there is no compulsion that you have to book only 20% profit in a day, and you cannot do more than that. The next thing is profit split. So the profit split is also scalable, meaning it can increase based on your profitability. And the next pro is that in 5 percenters, you get a refund on your first payout itself. So traders, this was the comparison of these 3 prop firms, WeMasterTrade, FundingPips and the 5 percenters. Every firm has its own pros and cons, and you need to see which firm fits your trading style and goals the best. And at last, if you found this video helpful, do like it and let us know in the comments which is your favorite prop firm. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will meet in the next video. Till then, stay happy and stay tuned.